Hey, so I hope you guys weren't waiting for me. I'm sorry. I was running a different meeting and
No, that's fine. We were sort of waiting for you, but we were chatting about the Aurora.
couldn't stop, actual decisions and work and stuff from happening by paying.
Well, that's good.
See you later.
Bring your effectiveness into our today's meeting. Morning, Nate. Let's see. We've got quite a few people on. I don't know if there's anybody that you're particularly wanting to wait for.
No, Robin always has good stuff, but he's at a German trade fair and not available. So
IFAT.
That's the name of the where he is.
It's in Munich.
What does it sell? Poop related equipment. Look at your eyes, because your eyes have lit up so much. I'm assuming that it's the mecca of all things poop. Do you get to go occasionally, Embry? No. All right. Well, keep climbing the corporate ladder, and soon you'll have a booth, a poop booth of the best kind.
No corporate ladder.
All right. Well, we met last week. I met with Embry and Margaret, and hot on their topic list was building your pilot project. I don't know if that's where you want to launch in today, or if you want to have other business that you want to cover. I guess I should ask, not because anybody's prompted me, but everybody has your travel paperwork in and are getting communications in the way that you expect them, or is there anything outstanding items with conference follow-up?
yeah, I was kind of hoping Robin, when he said he's going to be out, I followed up, emailed saying, is there anything in the way of conference follow-on that we should be covering? And he didn't reply, so I don't know about that.
Yeah, well, this is Lynn. So I mean, I know zero about anything. I'm gonna be here to try and catch up before I leave again. But we did get an email from the NATO. It's more related to just sort of the tie-up. They need some additional cross-referencing, checking, verification before we can get the held back funds. So I don't think that's a super interest in terms of relevancy to anyone here. Although who knows?
That was from you. They needed it from you, Lynn.
From NATO, yeah, from NATO
Okay.
to us, Robin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. And the person that was coordinating with Robin, I want to remember her name is Joy. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody want to check in with her just real quick to make sure that all boxes are checked?
Well, we're in contact with her. So
okay.
I mean, this is
okay. You're taking care of that. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I'm making a box and I am checking it. Thank you. All right.
Anyone else have any exciting?
Yeah, any hot topics?
One thing, so I was in Newcastle 2 weeks ago, visiting Tom, and we've decided together with Kartik Chandran to submit a proposal to the NSF Global Centers program. So we have until it's due on June 11th, which is a very short timeline. We haven't gotten a lot done so far, so it's going to be like a mad rush to the finish. But so basically what we would be proposing would be a center on improving anaerobic technologies, and one part of that would be temperature, so at low temperature, and also across different scales, so small scale digesters to full scale treatment plants. And then also some other stuff. I think Kartik, when he was in Fairbanks, he talked about, or not in Fairbanks, but the presentation he gave, he talked about upgrading products. So instead of producing methane, producing other products. And so that would also be part of it too. Yeah, so that's what we're planning. That it's a pretty big proposal to put together, but it's also a lot of money if we get it. And so it's a collaboration between different countries. And so I think the countries are US, Canada, UK, and then you can also have partners from Finland, Japan, and Korea. So we have not identified anyone from the last 3 countries yet. And you don't have to, like the 3-country thing is also fine. But yeah, we will need at some points a bunch of letters of like, more than just a letter of support, like letters of collaboration and sort of like how we're going to interact. So you have to also talk about how you're going to interact with different relevant stakeholders. So stakeholders would be, you know, like this group. Also probably the EPA, potentially some of the groups in Alaska would be really useful to interact with or have as collaborators with the Denali Commission and the Native Tribal Health Consortium, those kind of people. So yeah, that's something big that we've kind of not got going yet, but we might be making some requests to some of you to help out with letters of collaboration or other things related to that.
That's huge and very exciting.
Yeah, so hopefully we get there. At this point, I'm like, okay, it's the middle of May. We haven't done anything yet, but we've thought about it, I guess.
Lots of money. How much is lots of money?
So each country gets different amounts of money. So for me, it would be like, for Canada, it would be like $500,000 a year for, I think it's 3 years. I think for the US, it's like $4 million over that period, 4 or 5 million. And then in the UK, I don't remember, something like £1.5 million or something. So it's like, it's a big project.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
And part of,
Go ahead, Jane. Sorry.
I was just saying, also part of it is there needs to be like a kind of social science aspect to it too. So we'll probably try to bring in people on that side as well who work on, well, one of the things we were thinking about was like Indigenous relations with like colonial governments and water resources and other types of natural resources. There's some people in Colombia working on water sanitation and hygiene in remote places. So that those kinds of people would probably be included on it too.
So Jane, this is Lynn. I'm just curious, you know, in terms of our collaboration, in fact, because we are doing WASH work, we certainly can write a partnership letter. Would we be able to get funding?
Yeah, so that's a good question. I know that government agencies definitely can't get any funding. I'm not sure about
nonprofit.
Yeah, that I'm not too sure how that would work. But definitely like you guys would be a great partnership to have. And even if, so one of the things I was realizing, like, even if you can't have direct transfer of funds to groups, you can still like support them in certain ways, like by facilitating their travel to events or facilitating their participation in things. So that might be one way to go if we can't have direct fund sharing. I think the funds may have to go to the universities, but I'll look into that a bit more, go back and read the call again and try to figure that out.
Yeah, or if they're able to do sub awards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
Is there a way for people to provide you letters of support if you is there like a abstract or something that you're writing to that might help? Because with a 3-week time frame, if you guys are down to your deadline, it's going to be hard for people to write a great letter of support. So maybe they could start on that. And I don't know if is it legal to have you review their letters of support, or is that cheating?
Oh, I think that's totally fine. And I think we just need to kind of organize ourselves a bit better, and hopefully we could send out more information on the letters of support that we would need once we have talked about it a bit more and who we need the letters from.
All right. So we'll keep our eyes open in inboxes.
Yeah.
If you're not asked, I don't know that the EPA can give a letter of support. We've got funny rules about that kind of thing. But if you keep Margaret and Embry in the loop, they can help maybe heard that side of it while you guys are working on the substantive responsive side of things, if that helps you out for
Okay.
providing.
Yeah.
Just a suggestion, or you guys might have a better arm twisting way of getting things done. You won't get your
Yeah.
NATO funding if you don't give us a letter of support in a timely fashion. I see some strings coming together. All right, that's great. Well, fantastic. And I'm glad you were able to travel and meet in person.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good. It was good to be there.
Let's see. All right, any other hot topics, emerging issues, problems you need the hive mind for?
I may have gotten myself into trouble or good things. I can't tell which way it went. There was a call for sort of accounting for research work going on in the Arctic that the US is funding. And it came through IARPIC. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah, we're doing this thing. We got support. And then, someone started replying back. Jane, I CC'd Jane because it was like, do you want some Canadians? And I was like, well, we have a great Canadian, but maybe some other Canadians too. And so luckily I BCC'd her so she didn't get all the like flurry of like, nobody told us about this. We were supposed to tell them about this anyway. So I can't tell like.
Oh, there was more messages after that? Okay. I didn't see any of them.
But it's all about like, is someone in trouble for not reporting? What were we supposed to report? Did something anyway? Like it's all about like internal reporting on U.S. government funding, and so I'm hoping that the kerfluffle results in more funding. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure how it's going to go. But anyway, we raised the profile of the pilot project and the overall research consortium. I never quite know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. See. Also, whether we get more Canadians.
I think we have a perfectly fine Canadian.
We do. I know. I was like, I'm not.
It wouldn't be the worst to have more though.
Okay. All right, Margaret, you're the host. If you saw that. Thanks, Liz. Anything else? Ready to move into your pilot project? Talk about updates? Is that appropriate for this meeting, Margaret?
Yeah, I think so.
Actually,
Annie, great
before we
design.
move on, sorry, real quick, before we move on, just a heads up that we still haven't received our final payment for from NATO, and that's why checks are delayed to go out from the Fairbanks workshop. So hang tight, everyone. They just emailed back today saying they wanted us to double check one of the tabs of the spreadsheet that we had to fill out. They said the speakers didn't quite match or something like that with the report. So I think it's hinging on that. I mean, it's just weird that we haven't heard anything from them until now because that was submitted so long ago. So hopefully once we deal with this, they'll give us that final payment and we can get those checks out just so everyone knows.
Great, thank you. Thanks for doing all that backroom work on it. Conferences are never done when you fly away, for at least some of the people.
I know, so true.
It's always a lot of work.
No problem.
All right, Margaret, you're gonna take the floor for pilot. You had lots of information last week. We met.
Oh, well, and since we met, Annie hosted another design meeting, which I think had sort of a different subset of the consortium because of availability. Annie, are you able to give a little readout on that? And maybe you won't. Oh, that's like.
No, I'm here. I do. Yeah, I didn't do anything formal in preparation for this.
Oh, don't worry about
it.
it.
Was great
Very informal.
talking with everybody. I can go ahead and show everybody the most recent design. Yeah, here we go. So this is the most recent setup. Yeah, you should be able to see. We've got, a more developed PV and storage array in the works that is almost in shipping to us. And then we have reduced one of the demands because of the power demand and the optimal sizing of the system. We've gone down to just using a heating drum blanket as the kind of power intensive heating option for these digesters. That's kind of like the one we're putting our money on, if you put it that way. But then we've added also this resistor that's going to be doing kind of ambient space heating inside of the shed, so that there will be kind of like, what's the heated room option for this tank, with the control being outside in the carport area. So those were some changes since the last time I think I had shared the design. The updates on what's actually on the ground now. This shed is built and this greenhouse is built, and we have all of the drums. So that's very exciting. We, however, do not have all the other pieces and fixtures that go into eventually getting to a digester gas capture system that looks like this. So what I've been working on with Margaret and Max has been a lot of the logistics and the approval processes to make this come to life. So we have a biosafety approval, and we have an electrical approval, and then we just need to actually have all of the things order and ship on time, in addition to timing out the inoculum being sampled from the treatment plant and sent up here at the perfect time that we have the digesters built and loaded. So that is what's been going on here, and we are just marching towards execution. So anyone can, feel free to ask any questions.
Embry, got some?
I was just gonna say, it's on my list to contact the Alaska, the Fairbanks Poopy plant to see if they can help run some samples. So that is still in my court. I will get it done this week.
Okay. Yeah, it did come up again in the office here. They're like, oh, we have some other private people who are in wastewater systems, and it seems like everybody aerates. So I think I had run that question by you a while ago, Embry, but I think that's what makes it the limiting factor, that we don't really want to source from an aerated lagoon.
No, don't seed with an aerated. So so you're seeding with, it sounds like Max is going to do some pilot digester poop from Cincinnati.
Yeah, which is pretty extreme. You'd think that we could get it, but the only one we have tracked down that is an anaerobic system is the Ilsen base that has turned us down.
So I think what Embry is hoping is that the weekly analysis could be local.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. So
Okay.
but Margaret and I did determine that your holding times are not as bad as you'd originally thought, right? So you do have a longer holding time because you're to ship back to Max, because it's an anaerobic
24-hour window.
Yeah.
So yeah, some concern arose about that when I'm looking into, you can pay for overnight shipping from here. However, I was talking with, I'm trying to follow up directly with some carriers. It seems as though that just doesn't actually happen, even if you say it's going to be overnighted. It is going to be a 2-day. So that would be like a really critical, even though this is said, the reality is it's not executed. So I feel like I'm trying to get some more information from carriers in terms of when is it really overnight and when is it not, because that would be really critical for those 24-hour hold times.
Which one did you talk to?
So this is what I have gotten from people who have done logistics in the office a lot longer. So I haven't actually contacted yet, I don't know, FedEx or UPS or etc. Run the list of them. Oh, and then I guess Alaska Air has a shipping themselves. I have it written down somewhere, but there's like a specific name of like they do it if you drive it to the airport, and if someone were to pick it up at the airport, it's like,
Yeah, it's called
oh, hey,
Gold
Mark.
Streak.
Like, yeah, there you go. That's the one.
What's it called?
It's called Gold Streak. It's a expedited cargo shipping option. But I in the communities when people need to make things on time, I told you they just tie a $20 bill to the sample, and that ensures that the pilot will take it over to the next carrier, so it makes it on time. You may have to go down the road with that sort of route. I heard you say that you were refused by IELTS, and that was something I was supposed to try to dig into for. Have you heard more? Have they come down even harder on refusal, or is it just still in limbo?
Mike, I don't remember if we gave you this. I don't know if we had the specifics at the time, but part of the reason is there's PFAS problems, and so the reasoning came down that it would be if we were to give you a sample, we can't be like spreading PFAS. So essentially, they have regulations that don't allow contaminated substances to leave the site. And I ran that by Eli as like hey, does this sound right? And he was like, oh, yeah, they're regulated more tightly because of that, and I would probably not continue pursuing that line.
Sorry, could you back that truck up, Annie?
Yeah, that's insane.
So you're telling me you cannot move a substance off site, a substance that is quote unquote contaminated with something that our entire bodies and world are contaminated with? Is that basically the crux of what we're talking about here? Sorry.
Well, to
Be a
me,
jerk about it.
to me, all that means is that they don't want to do it, and they found a way to hide behind a regulation. But that doesn't necessarily, even to me, still mean a hard no. And was this coming from the guy that refused you the first time, or did you go up the chain at all? Because I haven't found anybody.
The communications were from the same person, the same point of contact.
Okay.
His emails became kinder, but same one that we described. And
After he
I
went to
don't know,
Ohio for a while.
Yeah.
Got over the winter blues. So yeah, I mean, I feel like we could certainly figure out some sort of waiver, like, or whatever, because as a poo regulator, that this is not actually a thing. Like, there is no, you can't take your poo off base because of PFAS.
Well, there's several new PFAS rules, right? So
Yeah.
I'm wondering if they're just trying to be cautious
Not for
before they are able to.
biosolids, there's not though. Not for biosolids. There's drinking water PFAS rules. There's no biosolids PFAS rules.
They are just trying to be over careful. I deal with the military fairly often on these things, and they they try to follow the rules, which I really appreciate. But sometimes they sort of see rules where they're not necessarily rules.
Yeah, and I was just thinking the landfill PFAS stuff as well, and the declaration that the PFAS is hazardous substance now, PFAS and PFOA, I think. So I don't know. It seems like there's several new rules. Just maybe they're just trying to get their ducks in a row. I don't know.
So yeah, we have a plan. We can go forward to Cincinnati, and I can if folks closer to Eielson can convince them that we EPA can give them some sort of waiver. We can do it jointly with ADEC or whatever. I think we can certainly make that happen. But I don't know that I, as a regulator, can lean on them that hard. I have to accommodate them, but I don't think it makes sense for me to like try to be the person to lean on them, because that has a bad look. But yeah, Embry was, because of those holding time issues, thinking she wanted to take another crack at local analysis of the weekly samples, which I think would be awesome if she did that.
I do think that is a good idea. When I was reviewing that methods that Max shared, I would just be concerned with those times. I will say, Embry, I have been in touch with Mario Mascarella. He is at UAF. He has a lab. He runs fecal coliforms regularly. He has not replied to our last two messages, maybe? No, just the last one. So we've been going back and forth this last week because as I reviewed since my last call with you, Margaret, I just thought that whole times and shipping would be a headache for the biologics. So anyway, he says not like, I don't know what type of funding and supplies it would take. He is not sure how much personnel he has that will be in the lab because they've got their own, a lot of the labs here have field work going on when it's UAF at least. So the other labs that I wrote down to contact is Pollen Lab, I think it's Pollen. And I was going to reach out to them. They're just a certified laboratory rather than dealing with like the research schedules of UAF. So just giving you that if you are looking into that this week. I have not yet done that, Embry. So that's where the status of it is on this end.
Have you called anybody like Eurofins or? Okay.
So feel free.
The
to
wastewater
keep
treatment
it
plants
in
must be running fecal coliforms, right? So I wonder if they would help you out.
Yeah, that's why I was gonna call Fairbanks, the Poopy plant in Fairbanks, to see if they would, and just throw it into their normal rotation of fecal testing. It shouldn't be, yeah. I mean, I think I was trying to find a hawk kit, but I think hawk kits are only for water and not biosolids for fecal coliform testing.
Yeah, there's the call alert system as well, but then I think you need quite a bit of infrastructure to run that, right?
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
run those, and that is not a small piece of equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then the next option is just like Eurofins or Test America, which actually may be Eurofins now. I can't remember. So just a lab. Commercial testing lab.
Sorry, my call dropped there for a second. What were the main takeaways there, Embry, I might have missed?
Jane and I are just brainstorming other alternatives. It's like, and also, I don't know that like NREL could do that even if we found a kit or a
Yeah, they don't have a biosafety
handheld,
permit, right? So they probably can't run it.
They don't have a BL2 lab, and they're going to be required to have a BL2 lab. So, yeah, we'll figure it out.
Thank you for the support. Keep me in the loop on what you brainstorm and learn.
I imagine it would be way harder for you to send it to me than to send it to Mario or anyone in the US. So I'm not even going to suggest that, but we are doing a lot of E. coli and fecal coliforms.
We ship poop to Western University in Toronto all the time from America. It does get held up at customs though sometimes. So
Boy, aren't they sorry. Moving right along.
What is it? What do they hold it up for? What do they run tests on it? Like, what do they
It's just
smell it? Like,
no, it's not even so like it's not even a biohazard, like, but to Annie's point, like we FedEx it overnight and it still gets held. There's just some processing. It's a paperwork processing bottleneck as opposed to like a shipment of poop thing, right? So, I mean, we have our lab is shipping poop all over the place all the time. So, but it does, across the border does.
So I'm glad you have the drums, Annie. That seemed like a surprising thing that would to have stall. So that's good.
Yeah, we have some drums and we have the blanket heater. So some things are here, and I don't think anything else is on the way yet. So
Michael, you missed Jane's gonna ask everybody for letters of support for a very exciting trilateral research. And I think Alaska Native Tribal Health Consortium, for some reason I can never do the acronym, support would be really great. Oh, hey, Nate, is there anything you want to say before you go?
Just that the pilot thing is looking really good. That's an awesome design. I think we went over like a couple minor tweaks, but it's looking really good, and I'm impressed you all have gotten that much done in the amount of time that you have. So best luck getting all the pieces. Yeah. Okay. Well, hey, I will talk to you cats again soon.
All right, thanks, Nate.
Okay. Later.
Bye. All right, anything else? Structure, process, materials within the digester and for the digester.
And I was hoping that the photographs and stuff from the in-person workshop would be helpful for ongoing applications like the one that may be going forward with Jane and Kartik. And I don't know if anyone else has messed around with that, but if anyone has thoughts on how to improve that.
Is
data.
that in the Gmail?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I haven't looked and I haven't added any of my photos, but I could do that.
So, yeah. So, it would be nice to be able to share things readily, and IARPIC did provide that Google Drive, but I don't know how functional it is for people. So that's sort of a housekeeping matter. I think those are the things all I had. Anyway, what else? Anyone else have anything?
Nothing. Okay.
Nice.
Good.
We're efficient.
Efficient.
I will take the time back to make all calls and figure something out, because even if the base doesn't want to give you poop, they have to do fecal testing, I'm sure. So where do they send their fecal tests? Like, we can, right? So we could just glom on. Right, Mags? Don't they have to do fecal testing for their
Oh,
poop?
they definitely do. And sometimes when people say no, they feel bad, so maybe they want to say yes to something else. Like,
I don't get that sense from the military, but but
You can try.
yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
But yeah, if there really is some concern about PFAS, we can work out a waiver sort of statement.
I'm actually forwarding that string of communication to Mike right now. Ember, do you want to see that? I'm not sure who else would be interested in.
I would love to see it, because I'm working on 2 manuscripts on PFAS and poop right now. So I would love to see.
Okay.
I would love to see the perception thereof in this particular arena. And also, Jasmine, I have a question for you, if it's okay. I have been talking with some people here at Brown and College, just some colleagues about like their backyard digesters. And I was wondering if I could share your presentation with them. Would that be okay?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. I didn't want to just start passing it around without asking permission, but
Yeah, go for it.
thanks.
Annie may have another opinion, but I thought the big thing of backyard digesters, the researcher whose name I'm blanking on, who also has a pretty good history of backyard digesters, had some useful thoughts in the design meeting last week. So I feel like there's a lot to learn from those opportunities or those experiences.
Annie, Lynn has dropped a note into the chat.
Yes, Lynn, perfect timing. I will put your name in here as well.
The Poop Wranglers can write a
Song, a Western, country Western.
actually write a short story with the Sparks on.
Get it tattooed somewhere.
Don't put it on TikTok though. All right, anything else? Judith, I love your plates behind you. Gorgeous.
Thank you.
All
Can I-
right. Oh, go ahead.
Just saying I cannot say the same because it's all blurry behind you.
No, I have nothing lovely. I have mom and daughter paintings, which I'm not sure
Oh, that's nice.
are really
maybe-
art. Two sides of it.
Do
Two
you
sides
paint
of a thing. No, only at those women and wine functions after several wine glasses. I can apply paint to a piece of screen or canvas. Whether one calls it art when I'm finished is in the eye of the beholder, right?
Right. Well,
Oh, goodness. All right, everybody wants some time back of their day. Great check-in. And as always, keep in touch with everybody between the meetings, because that's when the good work gets done, I can tell. Lots of progress. Those renderings were amazing. Annie, from the sketches to the, I don't know, I was seeing drums five tall strapped with bungee cords to a plywood wall that somehow wasn't going to freeze. So it looks very pro. Nice job.
Thank you.
Don't
Well,
apply for money.
I'm-
It looks like we all know what we're doing because you guys actually do. So nice work.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I hope I'll be able to share photos with you soon where it's actually real.
Yeah, that'll be great. And I don't know if so when do you hope that it's operational?
It's difficult to say right now. Margaret, I don't know if you have any updates on the ordering piece of it from Max, but I guess the ORD office had a bit of a clampdown on procurement. So until I think it's mostly like a matter of shipping times and approval times. I guess we're not expecting it. I think if it's running, if everything's loaded and it's running 1 month from now, I think I said that last month, but
Okay, I was thinking you were going to
one-
say within the quarter, but that's great. Okay.
Oh, I'd really like to be a month away. That was the goal. The goal was the end of this month. And so I'm only extending it by a half month right now, given the delay in terms of if we don't have the supplies, we can't build it. And there might be some troubleshooting processes once it's in hand before we load it. And I know the biosafety guys aren't going to give it the final approval until we're like, well, we know what we have at hand. So now we can get the poop. So that's just a timing thing. But I think that it'll be up and running in June,
Woo!
sometime in June.
Oh, thank you for saying June. I did wake up this morning thinking about, because you have the pilot running, Margaret and Embry, do you want to meet throughout the summer? We have been stopping meetings. I think June has been our last meeting, and you give yourself July and August off, August, September. I can't recall. I didn't look at my notes.
Yeah, we usually have a summer break.
So do you want to do that? Are you the
No.
design people and the poop pilot people will get no break this summer, but the rest of, so we can maybe have a shorter meeting. You want to plan hour-long meetings for pilot project check-ins?
Yeah.
Other emerging issues. We've got the grant top of the meeting that Jane discussed. So that's due June 11th. So do you want to have a check-in early June? It's the 15th. I don't know, Jane, do you want to have a meeting before the information's due, or would that just be a hassle to stop?
I think it might be easier. I mean, because we wouldn't have a meeting in the next couple of weeks, and I feel like by June 11th we need to really have everything. I mean, even by early June we need to have things together. So it might be easier for us to just kind of reach out to people, but I guess just that if people are aware of it, that's really good, and we can get in touch with people directly, maybe.
Yeah, because looking at the calendar, it's either June 12th or the 19th typically would be the next meeting. So why don't you reach out directly, Margaret and Embry? If we don't have a meeting on the calendar, let me just look and see if we do.
So yeah, Embry and Piper, I guess, yeah.
It's on the 19th. Oh, you know what? Our 19th, we have a holiday, federal holiday.
Right. Good point. So we would need to just reschedule anyway.
Yeah. Okay. We will reschedule that probably to the 12th. Does that feel right, the right direction, Margaret?
Yeah.
Okay. And send out that email to you guys. Jane, you contact us directly, and then yeah, Annie, keep working with the pilot team. Send out help messages if you need more help from other people.
Yeah, sure have. Thanks. And then, Lynn, if you're still here, I just asked in the chat, would you mind retyping out your email for me? Because in all these lists, I can't seem to find it.
Yep, we'll do that.
Thanks.
And I did say to Liz, I asked her whether we're going to take the summer off, and I said we probably would. So if we're changing that, which is totally fine, we just need to get ourselves, properly represented on the Arabic calendar so that the call gets set up for us. So Embry, you want July and August?
I think so. I mean, it could be abbreviated, but just a quick check-in. Because I know we've got, I know, Annie, it's hard for you to schedule the design meetings kind of in the interstitial spaces. So if we have if we keep this regular one, then maybe then it's on people's calendars, people expect it, we can still use it as some design workshopping if you needed it. In addition to, and then we'll just have to let those people know that to come to the regular normal meeting, and that's what we're converting into a design workshop so that you don't have to schedule another one.
Oh, that sounds pretty nice to me. I'm anticipating in the next month that the types of questions will be one, oh, we have this and it's not exactly working as we expected as we are finishing the build. And then second category is contingency planning that I am trying to do. I have a list of if this happens, then this, and if this, and just thinking through scenarios so I can feel prepared on site to handle or to have whoever is on site or doing the sampling 1 week to the next week feel prepared that they have some set of resources and expectations around how it's actually going to operate. So I think that that's the type of feedback I would be looking for moving forward. And if that's of interest to the whole group, whoever is here, I'd love to hear from.
Yeah, I think there's definitely going to be a large segment of the group for whom that is of interest. Okay. Ready to wrap? Wrap it up, that is. Well, some of you have mad singing skills. There you go. The musical of you can, those of you who are musical, come up with the poop rap for the ribbon cutting of the pilot project. Who's going to get to go to South Africa and Uganda? Well, Lynn, very
you'll need
cool.
to show us a photo when you get back. No poop.
Will do. Well, well, I don't know. I'll definitely be visiting the dump site. So,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah. Have a good summer, everyone. I gotta get off to another meeting.
All right.
Bye.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye all, thanks.
Okay.